Have you ever felt like your body is quietly rewriting the rules without asking you? One day you wake up and realize the energy you once had feels different. The spark that used to come so easily now takes a little more coaxing. You notice your recovery is slower, your motivation wavers, and the confidence you once carried without thinking now feels like it needs a bit of maintenance. For many men over 65, this shift can feel like a silent change in the background, subtle at first but undeniable over time. Testosterone levels naturally taper, blood flow changes, and moments of intimacy don't always unfold the way they used to. And while no one likes to talk about it openly, there's one question that lingers for many. How often should you be taking care of yourself? In that most private way. You may have heard extremes, everything from as much as you want to, don't touch it at all. But what if there's a balanced, science-backed rhythm that supports your body instead of draining it? A way to keep your vitality, protect your prostate, and maintain that deep sense of masculine well-being well into your later years. In this conversation, we're going to explore what modern research and over a decade of medical experience have revealed about the healthiest rhythm for men our age. You'll discover how to listen to your body's signals, what signs mean you might be doing too much or too little, and how to make this part of life something that nourishes rather than depletes you. Subscribe to Life After 65 and tell us, where are you watching from? Because this isn't just about health. It's about reclaiming a part of yourself you might have thought was fading and learning how to keep it strong for years to come. Let's start with something many men overlook: the fact that this private act is not just a quick release. It's a full-body event engaging systems that are vital to your overall health. From the moment you feel aroused, your heart rate begins to rise, blood vessels open wider, and muscles in your pelvic floor start their rhythmic work. Your brain sends out a flood of chemical messengers: dopamine for pleasure, oxytocin for relaxation, and other neurotransmitters that touch everything from your mood to how well you'll sleep that night. Your prostate steps in too, producing and releasing fluid as part of its natural maintenance. Just like oil moving through an engine keeps parts running smoothly, this process helps keep the gland healthy, its ducts clear, and blood circulating well. In younger years, you could go through this whole cycle and bounce back in no time. But after 65, recovery takes longer. Blood doesn't flow quite as fast, testosterone may dip more easily, and your nervous system might need extra time to reset. This doesn't mean you should stop. Quite the opposite, it means finding a rhythm that gives your body enough space to recover, so each experience leaves you feeling uplifted, not drained. Go too long without it, and you risk losing responsiveness in erectile tissue, letting pelvic floor muscles weaken, and missing the mood-boosting effects of a healthy release. Overdo it, and you may face fatigue, dulled sensation, or discomfort in the prostate area. The art lies in balance, keeping circulation, strong hormones stable, and sensitivity alive without tipping into overuse. Science suggests a range, but your personal rhythm will depend on your health activity level and recovery speed. Have you ever noticed your body feeling different depending on how often you're intimate with yourself? I'd love to hear your experience in the comments. And now let's move into what science says about the sweet spot that keeps you at your best. One of the most telling guides comes from a notable Harvard study. Researchers found that men who released regularly, about 4 to 7 times a month, had a lower risk of certain prostate problems compared to those who did it rarely. Why? Because regular activity helps prevent congestion in the prostate, keeps blood moving freely through the area, and maintains the flexibility of arteries that supply blood to the penis. It's like keeping a garden hose in use. Let it sit too long, and the flow becomes sluggish, but use it regularly, and it stays clear and responsive. There's also a critical link to nitric oxide, a natural chemical your body needs for erections. Nitric oxide relaxes and opens blood vessels so blood can rush into erectile tissue. Without enough of it, you might feel mentally ready, but your body struggles to respond. And here's the challenge: nitric oxide production naturally declines with age. That's why a steady but not excessive rhythm can help keep your system primed and ready. But this is where personal health makes a difference. A man who exercises, eats well, stays hydrated, and sleeps deeply may handle more frequent activity without trouble. Another man managing conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, or fatigue may need longer breaks to recover. For many healthy men over 65, every 3 to 5 days tends to strike the ideal balance, frequent enough to keep everything in shape, but with time for full recovery. Think of it as a workout plan for your sexual health. Too often and you're overtraining. Too rarely and the muscles lose tone. Your goal is the sweet spot where performance stays strong, recovery is complete, and the experience itself feels rich and satisfying. Have you ever tried adjusting your rhythm and noticed a real difference in how you feel? Let's move on and talk about the warning signs that tell you when you've crossed the line into too much. One of the first red flags that you may be overdoing it is when your erections start to feel noticeably weaker, even when your mind is fully in the moment. This is your body's quiet way of saying, I need more time to recover. Think of it like pushing too hard at the gym. If the muscles never get a proper break, they simply can't respond at their best. In this case, it's not just muscles, but your vascular system, nerves, and hormones that need that recovery window. Another sign is waking up the next day feeling heavier, sluggish, or mentally foggy. This isn't just getting older, it's your nervous system still working to reset after the energy and focus it invested in arousal, muscle contractions, and the chemical release of pleasure. Without enough downtime, you stay in a subtle state of depletion. Reduced sensitivity is another clear message. If it takes more stimulation to feel the same level of arousal or your climax feels less intense, your nerve endings might be saying slow down. Overuse can temporarily dull them, making it harder to reach that peak satisfaction. Some men even notice a dull ache or heaviness in the pelvic area. That's often your prostate asking for a rest. And mood matters too. If dopamine, the brain's reward chemical, spikes too often, your system responds by pulling it down, leaving you with lower motivation or a dip in mood. The good news: none of these are permanent. They're like the warning lights on a car dashboard, signals to ease up and let things cool before getting back on the road. Often, just a few extra days of rest will restore sensitivity, energy, and mood. Have you ever experienced any of these signs and realized it might be time to slow your pace? In the next part, let's talk about the other side of the coin. What happens when you don't do it enough? Going too long without any sexual activity can quietly chip away at your long-term performance. The penis is made of spongy erectile tissue that thrives on regular infusions of oxygen-rich blood. Without consistent erections, whether from partnered intimacy or solo activity, that tissue can gradually lose elasticity. Over time, tiny amounts of scarring called fibrosis can develop. This makes it harder to achieve and maintain firmness even when your mind is fully engaged. It's like a leather glove that stiffens if left unused in a drawer. It simply doesn't move the way it used to. Your prostate also benefits from regular maintenance. Just as flushing out old oil keeps a car engine running smoothly, emptying the prostate periodically reduces congestion, lowers inflammation, and can even help prevent certain long-term problems. Let fluid sit too long and you risk discomfort, pressure, or complications that could have been avoided. And let's not overlook the hormonal impact. Without this periodic release, stress hormones like cortisol can dominate. That can leave you tense, irritable, and less motivated, not just in intimacy, but in daily life. If it's been weeks since your last activity and you notice erections are harder to achieve, or you feel an unexplained tension in your pelvic area, your body might be giving you a polite but urgent nudge. It's time to return to a healthy rhythm. Remember, intimacy at this stage of life isn't about chasing numbers or proving anything. It's about keeping the system engaged so it stays ready when you want it. Have you ever noticed yourself feeling more tense or restless after long gaps without intimacy? Up next, we'll explore how to find your personal sweet spot and tune it for lasting vitality. Finding your personal rhythm isn't about memorizing a number from a chart. It's about listening closely to your own body and adjusting based on how you feel. Every man's recovery speed, hormone balance, and physical resilience are different, especially after 65. A practical starting point for many is once every 4 days. That's often enough to keep circulation, strong nerves responsive, and the prostate healthy while still giving your system time to recharge. From there, treat it like an experiment. Pay attention to the signals. Do you wake up with natural morning firmness? Do you feel relaxed and clear-headed afterward without lingering fatigue? If so, you're probably in the right zone. But if you start to notice you feel drained, mentally foggy, or less sensitive than usual, your body's asking for more recovery time. On the other hand, if you go too long and start feeling restless, tense, or notice spontaneous erections becoming rare, it might be time to shorten the gap slightly. Think of it like exercising workout too hard every day, and you risk injury and burnout. Ignore your muscles entirely, and they weaken. Sexual health works the same way steady, sustainable use keeps the system strong and ready. There's no prize for pushing yourself past your limits, just as there's no loss in going at a pace that truly suits you. The goal is a rhythm that leaves you feeling better, not worse every time. Have you experimented with finding your own just right frequency? In our next section, we'll talk about the simple, everyday habits that can make each experience more satisfying and keep your body ready for years to come. Masturbation at this stage of life isn't only about timing, it's about supporting your body so each experience feels its best. And that starts with the basics. Hydration plays a bigger role than most men realize. Water keeps your blood volume healthy, your circulation smooth, and makes it easier for blood to flow into erectile tissue. Even mild dehydration can make your heart work harder and your erections less firm. Movement matters too. You don't need to spend hours in a gym. A brisk daily walk, light resistance training, or even gentle stretching keeps blood vessels flexible and boosts nitric oxide, the chemical signal that tells arteries to relax so blood can rush in when you're aroused. Then there's sleep. Deep unbroken rest allows your testosterone to peak naturally in the morning, which is why many men notice their strongest erections upon waking. Skimp on rest, and you rob yourself of one of nature's most reliable boosts. Food is your fuel. Leafy greens like spinach provide magnesium and nitrates to relax blood vessels. Beets help your body create more nitric oxide. Salmon offers omega-3s to reduce inflammation and keep circulation flowing. And berries bring antioxidants that protect your blood vessels and nerves from age-related wear. When you pair these habits with a balanced sexual rhythm, you create something more than good performance. You build a lifestyle that supports vitality, mood, and even longevity. Have you ever noticed how your diet, sleep, or exercise affects your performance? In the conclusion, we'll bring all of this together into a simple, lasting plan you can start today. So what's the safest, most sustainable rhythm after 65? For most men, every 3 to 5 days is ideal, often enough to keep your sexual system active, your prostate healthy, and your mood balanced, but with enough space to let your body fully recover. The truth is, the healthiest frequency is the one that leaves you feeling stronger, calmer, and more alive afterward, not drained. For some, that might mean a little more often. For others, a little less. The key is to work with your body, not against it. Don't measure yourself against your younger years or anyone else. Your sexuality doesn't disappear with age, it evolves. And when you approach it with wisdom and care, it can remain one of life's richest and most nourishing experiences. If you're not sure where to begin, start small. Try a rhythm of every 4 days for a couple of weeks and notice how your body responds. Watch for signs of improved mood, stronger erections, and deeper relaxation afterward. Adjust gently until you find your sweet spot. If this spoke to you, share it with a friend you never know who might need to hear it today. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Life After 65 and leave a comment telling us your thoughts. Your experiences may inspire someone else on the same journey. Your strength doesn't fade with age, it evolves. And so should your habits. Treat your body with respect, and it will reward you with vitality, pleasure, and confidence for years to come.